Language learning is a completely normal way of developing language. Language is developed in two ways, analytically or in gestalts. Both these ways of learning language are considered normal in children. So today I will be discussing tips to support a Gestalt language processor. Is your child actually learning a language in Gestalt? If your child is, that means they are more than likely scripting, as the term may otherwise be used, or echoing your language or language that they may hear on YouTube or in other places within their environment. And so we want to figure out, what can you do? The overall goal of speech therapy for the GLPs, or the Gestalt language processor, is to enable the child to use self-generated language. Hence, these tips are most effective when you are interacting with your child in a natural and in an engaging context. So we use playtime or an interactive activity while applying these tips. So here are some of the things that you can do. You want to respond to your child. In other words, you want to smile, you want to nod, or you want to repeat or acknowledge your child's attempts to communicate. You want to respond using words or phrases to comment on the intention of the child's speech. Do not focus on the literal meaning of what the child said. Example, if a child says, "Wheels on the bus," every time they go outside, you want to say, "Yes, we're going outside." Utilize pronouns while speaking. Example, say, "I want to go play." "I want to go outside." Use your child's echolalia to build on their speech. You want to be able to identify the situations and the context in which they echo or use those scripted phrases. In other words, if a child says "wheels on the bus" whenever he or she or anyone else is preparing to leave the house, it means that the child is using the phrase to say, "Let's go outside." Similarly, you want to identify specific contexts and scripts that your child is saying. Use core words while communicating. So instead of saying, "Johnny's new shoes are amazing," you want to simplify it by saying, "I like your shoes. I think they're pretty." This is a lot easier for your child to pick up on and to speak. Provide easy phrases and repeat them often at home and during playtime. Children learn chunks of speech they hear. So say, "My toy," or say, "Come, Mummy," or say, "Go there," or any of the core words that are often used at home. "Help, please." Treat their scripted language or their echolalia as communication attempts. You want to use high-frequency words and phrases at home often during interaction time. Expand on your child's words and sentences. Example, if they say come to call someone, you want to say, "Daddy, come please." Observe and comment on what your child says or does as often as you can, and model those simple phrases. In other words, you want to say, "I like ice cream." Modeling sentences really help the GLPs build that self-generated language that we want to encourage. Always take conversational turns with your child. Use and repeat these functional scripts, such as "I'm thirsty," instead of asking, "Do you want water?" or "Are you thirsty?" You want to say it as if the child would actually be saying it in the situation. And really tune in and listen to what your child is trying to say. Next, we're going to talk about what not to do. So keep the following in mind. Do not ignore their attempts to think it's just nonsensical speech that they are uttering to you. Consider that their scripted phrases and echolalia, consider them just as valuable as speaking. Avoid saying "say." Avoid saying "tell me." Reduce or avoid asking too many questions. Additionally, do not use long, complex utterances. In other words, you want to use simple, easy, functional phrases. Do not take their echolalia as a literal meaning necessarily. And please do not force them to use only verbalization as a mode to communicate. If they use gestures or if they are using AAC, you want to acknowledge all attempts. Do not focus on teaching grammar or expect perfect grammar from your child. And do not rush them to respond to your comments. Really avoid focusing on their faults. So I encourage you to really tune into your child's scripted or echoed language and have fun with it, and just model what your child should be saying in any given situation. But most importantly, make sure you have fun. Thank you, and if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time.